Today I am planting vegetation in the railroad complex at Evanston on my N-scale model railroad. Let's go trackside and I will show you how I'm doing it. I'm Roy Smith. I'm glad you could join me today. You're watching episode number 22 in my Evanston Renovation series. You will recall that I'm rebuilding the Evanston area of my layout from the ground up. I will put a link to the renovation series down below, so that you can go back and watch any episode that you may have missed. I'm sharing my progress at Evanston with you because I believe that sharing the hobby is the best part of model railroading. And who knows, you may find the techniques that I'm using in this series to be helpful when working on your layout. This is what the vegetation in the railroad complex looks like now. I'm going to show you how I did it. Just as soon as this yard switcher moves out of the way. Before I could plant the vegetation, there were several things that I needed to do. First, I needed to change the contour of this hill behind the powerhouse. I needed to do this before planting the vegetation because I knew that carving the hill would produce a ton of bits and pieces of white styrofoam that would get into the vegetation if I planted the vegetation first. The hill provides a view block behind which the highway disappears from sight, but I've never been happy with the shape of it. So now you see me carving away a part of it and cleaning up those bits and pieces of white styrofoam. Applying sculpt mold. And carving new strata in the sculpt mold. I will repaint it with earth tones after the sculpt mold dries, and eventually I will plant vegetation on it as well. Second, before planting vegetation in the railroad complex, I needed to apply a wash of white pigment to the terrain. You saw me create the terrain and apply earth tone pigments to it in episode 21. Now I'm applying this wash of white pigment to tone down the intensity of the earth colors so that they more closely match the colors of the soil in the area of Wyoming that I am modeling. And lastly, a few other details before planting vegetation. I added a block of cement paving here where people line up for rides on the turntable during events at the railroad complex. You can see the concrete paving in this photo of the prototype. I added a curb around the parking lot in the complex using strip styrene. And I added a border along the edge of the plaza at the entrance to the machine shop, also using strip styrene. Now that I've gotten these details out of the way, I can start to actually plant vegetation. I am starting the process of planting vegetation by putting down ground cover. I'm using light green grass and yellow grass for this ground cover. I have put the ground covers in plastic cups, making them easier to apply to the terrain. I will also be using this Earth Blend turf. You saw me using this product before in front of the doors of the roundhouse. I like it a lot. I begin by brushing on a 50-50 mix of white glue and water wherever I want to apply ground cover. Now I'm sifting on the ground cover with my fingertips. The ground cover will provide a base under the vegetation that comes next. This is the final result of applying ground cover. Now the real fun begins, static grass. As I mentioned in a previous video, I had to order a new static grass applicator because my old one stopped working. The new one has arrived in the mail and I'm opening it up. I love to open up packages of train stuff that come in the mail. And here it is, a Woodland Scenics Static King. I really like the instructions that come with the Static King. And here's some of the static grass that I will be putting down. It's a variety of 2mm, 4mm, and 6mm tall grass in shades of light green, tan, and yellow. I've got tons of this stuff. In fact, I will never be able to use all of the static grass that I have. That's why I put together a video just for fun back in October 2018 called 12 Uses for Leftover Static Grass. I will put a link to this video down below. You can apply static grass separately, one size at a time, and one color at a time if you wish. But I have mixed up a batch of several colors of 2mm grass, as you see here. I think that applying a mix of colors will result in colors that more closely resemble real grass. I have tried to create a mix that I think will match the colors of the grass in the area that I am modeling. Now I am putting the mixture of 2mm grass in the hopper of my applicator. And I'm putting down a basing glue where I will be applying the static grass. I understand that this kind of glue works better than regular white glue. I am using the War World brand of basing glue. Now I apply the anchor of the static grass applicator in contact with the glue. The instructions tell me to do this to help ensure that the grass stands erect rather than lying flat in the glue. I hold the applicator as close as possible to the glue and shake on the static grass. You can see what the initial application of grass looks like. Then, while the basing glue is still wet, I come back and apply 4mm grass. And after that, 6mm grass. Whatever you do, don't turn on a fan while applying static grass or you will end up with grass all over your train room. I immediately vacuum up all of the loose grass as the instructions tell me to do. And this is what it looks like after the 3 applications. A dethatching comb comes with the applicator. As the instructions say, I will allow the glue to dry overnight and come back tomorrow to dethatch the grass. That is, to remove any excess that didn't get glued down properly. It's the next day and here I am, dethatching, gently. To my surprise, the comb isn't picking up any thatch at all, but it is helping to lift up any of the grass that isn't already standing upright. Now it's time to plant shrubs and tufts. These are the materials that I will be using. I have put some shrubs on one plate and glue on another plate, and I'm planting them at the powerhouse. Next, I'm putting down tufts of various sizes and colors. Tufts have some adhesive on the bottom, but I like to dip them in glue for stronger adhesion. There's lots of sagebrush growing around the powerhouse. I want the area around my powerhouse to look like this. Now I'm putting down shrubs and tufts in the area around the machine shop. I want it to look something like the prototype when I'm done. I've got to resist the temptation to put down too many shrubs and tufts here. Okay, I have finished putting down the shrubs and tufts off camera because it's hard to do this with the camera blocking my view of the area that I'm working on. So now I want to try a variety of techniques to lighten up the foliage of the shrubs and tufts. And I want to do this in order to vary the color of the foliage and in order to highlight the tops of the vegetation where sunlight would be striking it. First, I apply a thin wash of white pigment to lighten up the colors of the vegetation. And while the white pigment is still wet, I lightly sprinkle some yellow grass on the shrubs. This does two things. It suggests that the shrubs have yellow flowers, and it suggests that sunlight is striking the tops of the shrubs. Now, after the white pigment has dried, I lightly apply some of this gray weathering powder that I have had for years. I also apply some white weathering powder. This helps to create the light green, silvery color of sagebrush. And finally, I apply some yellow pan pastel. This seems to work better than the other techniques. It's amazing. Pan pastels are good not only for weathering rolling stock and structures, but I have discovered that they also work well when trying to vary the colors of foliage. I'm even applying some of the yellow pan pastel to the static grass. It lightens up the grass and allows me to vary the color of the grass from light green to a more yellow tone, just like the grass in this photo of the prototype. I would like to thank Kelly Walsh for this photo. He took it while attending a model train show here at the railroad complex not long ago and posted it for me in Facebook. You can see that I have installed an American flag in the plaza of the machine shop with a spotlight to illuminate it. But it seems like there are always more details to add to any scene. For example, I want to add park benches and figures in the plaza, and also riding on the turntable as if they were there to attend a model railroad show. And I need to create fuel storage tanks at the powerhouse like these on the prototype. I think I can fabricate these tanks along with the pipes from pieces of other kits that I have. Well, I'm pretty happy with the way the railroad complex is turning out. Except for those few details that I just mentioned, the scene is essentially done. Now what am I going to do for fun? I have so many choices. For example, I could work on the rest of the Evanston yard. There's still a lot to do there. Or perhaps I will take a break from the Evanston area and do something else in the layout. I'm not sure. You certainly won't want to see me doing some of the things I have to do. For example, wiring under the layout. Maybe for my next video I can put together a summary of everything I've done at the railroad complex in these 22 episodes. It's been tons of fun so far. Stay with me as the saga continues. And remember, there are tons of other videos for you to watch right here on this channel. I will put a link to my videos page down below. You can go there and browse around. Or you can go to these two videos over here just by clicking on them. Well, thanks again for joining me today. I'm Roy Smith. Until next time, happy railroading.